Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Here we go.
Welcome to the Division I Southern California Prep Insider Baseball Playoff Podcast. Tommy and Les here. I can't believe I didn't trip up my words that time. I actually got it out cleanly that time.
I was going to say, that's the smoothest one of the day. Great job, dude.
So the reason why it was the smoothest one of the day, because we have two more coming out today. There's also Division II and Division III. Make sure to watch those to get informed on all three divisions. Here in Division I, though, we will start with Bishop Amat, and Valencia.
Yeah, Valencia comes into this game on a high note, Tommy. They beat number 1 overall seed Harvard Westlake last week. Let's not forget the Vikings also had to win a wild card game over Oaks Christian just to get there. Seniors Luke Chung, Lucas White, Jake Biscalias, and sophomore Mitchell Torres lead the offense and play in a hitter-friendly park, which is where they'll host this game. Bishop Amat narrowly escaped JW North 5-4, but at this point in the season, margin of victory really doesn't matter. Head coach Joe Hoggett has done a great job with the Lancers, who are on a current 5-game win streak. Blake Archuleta is the man both at the plate and on the mound for Amat, while seniors Michael Espinoza and A.J. Barraza put together nice seasons too. Valencia, though, just seems to be a team on a mission after those two early postseason wins. And they're playing at home puts them over the top for me in this one, so I'm going to go with Valencia.
I'll go with Amat. Blake Archuleta, as you mentioned him on the mound at the plate, he pitched a couple innings in the first round. He's probably good to go for this one as well. I don't know how much they're going to throw him or what the plan is with that, but I expect to see him on the mound. Valencia, I just think there's such a huge disadvantage in having to play that extra game beforehand. Beat Harvard Westlake, which is amazing. It's one of those things you're almost scared that there's going to be a letdown, but I like Bishop Amat here in this one. Next is Hart in Cypress.
Yeah, Hart beat Los Al 3-0 behind a strong pitching performance from Bryce Collins, a guy you highlighted last week. They should have fellow senior Ryan Corralon going in this one. Cole Roederer, a guy we've talked about quite a bit, leads the offense, 392 average. Indians are hitting 304 as a team. Cypress beat Mission Viejo in a walk-off fashion as Noah Carter delivered the game-winning home run to propel the Centurions into the second round. But they'll be the home team once again, and that's huge for Cypress. Cypress is 13-1 since losing to NorCal Power Valley Christian back in the National Classic early last month. And with Harvard Westlake out of the way, the Centurions appear to have a legitimate shot at reaching the semi should they win this game. Playing at home is huge for Cypress, so I'm going to take Centurions to win this one.
I'm going to go with the upset here. I will go with Hart. Cole Roederer, I just want to mention his stats here really quickly. 392, 7 home runs. Carolina is probably going to pitch a 1.64 ERA, 8-1 record. It'll be a good game. I just like Hart. I don't know why. I just do. Next, we got Foothills at El Toro. Oh, by the way, that was not the only walk-off home run that happened last week. We'll get to those other ones later. So congrats, Noah Carter. Big walk-off home run. That's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. But there were a couple more, too. Next game, Foothills at El Toro.
Absolutely. El Toro got a strong outing last week from Eric Tolman en route to a 3-1 home win over Dana Hills. Stone Shipman should get the start in this one as the Chargers look to advance. Foothill handled San Diego 11-5 and our dangerous team that nobody really talks about. Kyle Ashworth, the guy you mentioned last week, is the real deal. We'll have a lot of attention on him from pro scouts this summer. Griffith Selby, a recent Sac State commit, is a steady contributor as well. Pitching and defense has been the story for the Knights, who go on the road and, in my opinion, are going to pull off the upset and win.
I'm going to agree with you, too. Sean Higgins will probably be the starter for Foothill. He's got a 1.95 ERA. It'll be a good matchup between him and Stone Shipman, but I like Foothill. Next, we've got La Mirada in Etiwanda. The reason why I prefaced the walk-off home runs, I don't think I've ever seen this before. Two teams playing each other after both winning off walk-off grand slams. I don't think that's ever happened.
No, I can't. I got to agree with you on that one. Yeah, I mean, Etiwanda beat Jay Serra on a walk-off grand slam by Matthew Bardwell. La Mirada beats Woodbridge on a walk-off grand slam by Jared Jones. Both teams have very good pitching. Both teams have very potent offenses. Both teams also happen to have really good coaching. I mean, this game is a toss-up, Tommy. I mean, I went back and forth on this one. It was so tough. Because Jones didn't start, you would assume he would start in this one, but he threw 7 innings of relief as their game went 12 innings last week against Woodbridge. He still may start this game because the game has been pushed to Wednesday to accommodate for Etiwanda's graduation on Tuesday, so that's big, that extra day rest. A move, though, I think could potentially hurt the winner come Friday. In the end, though, this will come down to pitching. And I think La Mirada's depth on the mound gives them a slight advantage. So I'm going to take the Matadors in this one.
And thank you for reminding me. Yes, this is the Wednesday game. Etiwanda's having graduation, so the game's going to be a day later. I'm going to go with Etiwanda just because of the fact that the La Mirada game had to go 12 innings. As you mentioned, Jared Jones had to throw 7 innings. Emilio Morales had to throw 5 innings, So having to burn your 2 guys, yes, there's a lot of time off in between then and now, but I think that kind of wears on you. So I got Etiwanda next. Orange, Lutheran, and Corona.
Plus the bus ride going out to the IE, right?
The bus ride, yeah, exactly.
That's no joke going out to Rancho at that time of day. Corona, they cruised to an 8-3 win over Rev last week, while Cole Winn was his usual standout self and Olu's 3-0 win over Moore Park. Corona is just a really good team with quality depth on the mound. Olu should counter with sophomore Max Ratchik, a sophomore UCLA commit who's also really good. The big question for me is how is Olu going to respond to not having Zach Liu in the lineup when Cole Winn isn't pitching? That could be ultimately the deciding factor because now you got to move Ratchik from, the middle infield to the mound. You got to bring in a kid to play the middle infield who hasn't played a ton. Corona's flying under the radar a bit as the winners of the Big Eight. They get the home game here, which obviously is really big. Olu's offense has been a little bit worrisome at times this season. Because of that, I'm going to take Corona to pull off the upset here.
Yeah, I'll take Corona as well. Jaden Kernan hitting .418, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs for them. Isaiah Green, already committed to Oregon as a sophomore, hitting .389. And I agree with you, when Wynn's not on the mound, it kind of shifts things around for Olu, which puts him in kind of a little bit of a pickle. Next, we've got Miracosta and Gar.
Yeah, Gar be a good up-and-coming Chaminade team. We'll be hearing a lot about them over the next couple of years. But Gar got a really strong pitching performance from UC Irvine-bound Darius Garcia. Gladiators are always tough, right? And they're just a tough team to match up with because they're always really athletic. This year's team is no different. They also happen to be 16-2 at home this year. And one of those losses being to Harvard Westlake. They're going to host Miracosta. Miracosta got another strong outing from Christian Bodlovich. The offense provided just enough to beat West Ranch 2-1. I'd expect the Mustangs offense to get back on track where it was prior to their last game. I'm going to take Miracosta. I just think their depth is just a little bit too much for Gar.
I agree with you. I think Miracosta could almost play with anyone in the country. I mean, it's a really good program out there. Next, we've got South Hills, at Capo Valley.
The Capo Valley went on the road and took out a very good Palm Desert team in what was a bit of a revenge game after Palm Desert knocked the Cougars out of the D2 playoffs last year. Capo Valley's playing really well and had been rolling before the last week of the regular season that saw them lose the league title to El Toro, but it appears that their offense is back. I was at the South Hills Servite game last week, and I saw 2 brilliant pitching performances, one from Brandon Dieter of South Hills. Problem for South Hills is their offense doesn't necessarily help out their pitching. It puts a lot of stress on their pitchers. The Huskies are going to need their offense in a big way if they're going to beat Capo Valley. Something I just don't think that they'll be able to do. So I'm going to go with Capo Valley in this one.
Yeah, I'll go with Capo Valley, too. I do want to shout out Nick Lugo from South Hills for getting the walk-off single in round 1 for those guys. So, again, lots of walk-offs last round. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, man, and I'll tell you what, I was there. I was able to get that on video, but holy smokes, I would happen to be on the South Hills side. Dude, that crowd went bonkers. Well, and that was an 11-inning game, too. So, yeah. I mean, it was nuts. Good stuff,
Final game in Division 1. It is Huntington Beach at Dos Pueblos.
Yeah, Dos Pueblos won a nail-biter against Newbury Park.
Another walk-off.
Yeah, exactly. I picked Newbury Park to win that one. I think you actually had Dos Pueblos to win that last week. And their reward is now they get to face the number 2 overall seed in Huntington Beach, right? The silver lining for Dos Pueblos is that they get that game at home. Huntington Beach hammered Vista Marietta 9-1. They got a really good outing from USD-bound junior Eddie Pelk. Good news for the Oilers, it appears their offense has woken a little bit from a bit of a slumber there, kind of last few weeks of the regular season. Getting Josh Hunt back full-time really helps. This is a brutally long bus ride for Huntington, but one they should be able to overcome. So I'm going to take the Oilers to win in advance here.
Yeah, tough trip out there. Nico Martinez, the guy with the walk-off single for Dos Pueblos, but Huntington Beach in this one, they're too good. I mean, they struggled a little bit earlier in the season, but I think it's one of those things you kind of wake up and the playoffs come around and you kind of get things going. So I got the Oilers. That is Division 1. If you look forward to Division 2, Division 3, those videos are up here as well. go on the Twitter, check them out. They're available. I promise. They're awesome. Les, anything you want to add before we end today?
Yeah, just check us out on Twitter at PBR_California, on Instagram at PBR California. We're going to be tweeting out draft spotlights leading up to the draft, which is in a couple of weeks. So every day we'll have a different spotlight up on a different player from California. We're also going to be releasing some top uncommitted players by class here over the next week or so as we start hitting the summer circuit. So check us out again at PBR_California, at PBR California on Instagram.
All right, that is it for this round. We'll see you in the next round. Playoffs. Keep on rolling.